How to be successful in your workplace and use your workplace as a training ground for ultimate success. Coming up. Hi everyone, this is Dr. Ernesto from AttaBoyCowBoy, and this channel we give you health and wealth tips to help you be more successful. Today I'm filming in Ireland. So I came over here to visit my cousin and I went out for a tour for a few days. I just was thinking about a conversation I had this morning with a friend that called me from Los Angeles. He was looking at some of my videos from my trip. And he asked me, "Bud, how do I make it? How do I improve my success at work? How do I kind of up my game so I can have more free time and I can kind of live the life I want?" Well, I'm right here in Keem Bay, Ireland, and I'm all alone. I have the beach all to myself here. I forgot my camera equipment, so I'm just kind of filming on my iPhone. And I just was thinking of a few things that I had mentioned to him that I have mentioned with other clients in the past, and I've taught to my students when I was teaching at the university. Number one, I always tell people that wherever you work, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're a janitor or you're a chef or a scientist or whatever, you always think of your job as a training ground for something better. So always try your hardest, always. Most people I see wherever I've worked, they just kind of get by. They're looking at, oh, I gotta work from 9 to 5. Let me get out of here at 4:55. Let me take an extra 10 minutes for lunch. All those little things add up, and people notice that. They kind of see you as someone that just gets by, or a slacker or something like that. And if you don't want to be known as someone like that, then you need to not act that way. You need to be the person that actually gets there a half hour early for work and leaves a half hour later from work every day. Someone that's known for having a strong work ethic. That's going to help you get promotions, get raises, get more responsibility. That's the other thing. Wherever you work, ask for more. Do whatever is asked of you. Don't complain. Don't give any excuses. Just do it. Make sure that the mission is completed. The worst thing is when I have employees or I work with people and you have people that, oh, I didn't do this. Why not? Some things are mission critical. If they don't get it done, then other things can't get done. Oh, because my stomach hurt or whatever. Whatever it is, the excuse is not good enough, really. Just get it done. Do your job and let yourself be known as someone that's dependable. If you're not dependable, no one's going to trust you. You're never going to get anywhere in your job or your career. And you're never going to be able to start your own business. Because whenever you do a business, you're going to have to depend on yourself. And no one's going to care about whether you were sick or whatever is going on in your life. Those are your problems. Don't make your problems other people's problems. I remember my dad would always wake up about 2 or 3 hours before his work started. He would get up at 2 and he started work at 5. And he'd usually get to work at least an hour early so he can be on time and he can prepare himself. So having a strong work ethic is really important, and it's going to transpire throughout your work day. People are going to know you for that. So wherever your boss is, they're going to want to give you a raise, give you a promotion, because you're going to be known as someone that's dependable. Also, again, work your hardest. Think of things as if they're yours. Don't try to cheat whoever your employer is, leaving early or taking extra breaks or whatever, because that's the reputation you're going to have. And that's not someone that's going to be rewarded. The reasons I've done well in some of the jobs I've had is because I've taken that into consideration, that hey, if this was me and I had someone working for me, I would want them to be doing their hardest. So I do the same. I try to work their hardest. Another thing to keep in mind is prepare yourself mentally and physically for whatever job or business you're doing. Now, if you stay up drinking all night, or you drink sodas, or you're eating Cheetos, your mind is not going to be working its best. You're not going to be thinking the best. So your work quality is not going to be the best. So you really have to think of yourself as an athlete. You have to eat the best food, exercise, keep yourself in good shape. The better shape that you are, the better you're going to think. The easier it's going to be for you to complete your work tasks or your business tasks. Now, The third thing I want to talk about is little bets. And I want to think about this guy. His name was Paul Ophelia. He's the guy that started Kinko's. Kinko's was a big print shop here in Los Angeles. And he actually went to my university, USC. He came to give a speech one time. I never forgot it because he was really funny. He reminded me of a comedian, and he just kept talking about how the only reason he stayed in school was because the USC football team brought down the curve. I don't know how true that is, but anyway, it was pretty funny. This guy became a billionaire, but he talked about how he got started at school. He used to sell pens and notepads outside of class, and I thought, man, most people would not do that. They would probably be embarrassed. They'd say, oh no, that's so embarrassing. You can't worry about what people think about you. If you want to be successful or you want to start a business, you have to bet on yourself. You have to take risks. You have to be the kind of person that doesn't worry about public opinion. You always want to be courteous and respectful, of course. That's just a commonality. But you don't have to worry about failure. Failure is a good thing. So don't ever let your fears prevent you from trying things and failing. If you're always in fear, you're never going to try anything. You're never going to have any success. So Paul Ophelia used to sell these pens and pencils and notepads outside class for 5 cents and 10 cents, and then like 25 cents for notepads. And I thought, wow, most people would be embarrassed to do that, especially at USC. It's a school for rich people. This guy didn't care. He did it, and he ended up starting a big office supply company, kind of like a Staples here in the United States. And it turned into like a multi-billion-dollar company that he ended up selling. I don't know what he's doing now. He's probably hanging out somewhere on a beach, but he did it just because he wasn't scared, he wasn't embarrassed, and he was able to take risks. So you have to be willing to take risks. You have to be respectful of other people's time, and you have to have confidence in yourself. A lot of times I talk to my friends, and they're always asking me, hey, how do I do this? Or what do I do this? Or what do I do this? How did you learn that? How did you figure that out? It's not about how I figured it out or where I learned it or who told me. Most of the things I do personally, nobody told me. I just did it. I thought about it. I use my own brain. I read a lot. I have a lot of confidence in myself. I gather a lot of knowledge from the things that I learn. I read the newspaper almost every day. And as I've learned things, I've learned to have more and more confidence in myself. And when I have to make big decisions or I have to try new things, I surely will research it and look for as much information as I can. But I certainly do not wait for anyone to give me the go-ahead to do anything. Absolutely not. I just do it because that's the way it should be. You should risk everything and do stuff on your own. And if you fail, it's okay. Don't be afraid to fail. You fail and you just start over, or you prepare so you don't fail again. And don't ever look at failures as actual failures. They're actually opportunities to learn. So again, when I have those friends that ask me, well, how did you do that? How did you get started in real estate? How did you get started in whatever business you're doing or whatever? I just did it, just like traveling. I'm traveling here by myself. I remember one summer I really wanted to travel. I was like 20 years old and nobody could go traveling with me. I asked all my buddies. They either had to go to school or they didn't have any money. So I bought a one-way ticket and I went traveling for 3 months. I thought I was gonna go for like a week. Ended up being 3 months. I ended up hitchhiking. I ended up like sleeping out in rainforests and hammocks and all kinds of cool stuff that I never expected. If I would have planned all that out, there's no way I would have thought of a cooler trip. But I ended up making probably a couple dozen friends, and some of them I still keep in contact 25 years later. So it's basically a way of life. Taking risks, having confidence in yourself, and always trying your hardest, whether it's traveling, working, reading books, being a good friend, whatever the case may be. And that's another thing. Be loyal. Treat the people that are around you that you love, your friends, your family, as if they're you, yourself. Treat them with honor, be respectful, be loyal. Don't betray any of your buddies or your family. Always stand by their side. If they need you, stand up for them, do things for them, and they'll do the same for you. and you'll also have those people at your bedside whenever you get sick or you need their help, like I've had in the past. So again, from Keam, Ireland, this is Dr. Ernesto Martinez, and if you have any questions, please comment below. Thank you. Goodbye.